started, you miss the opportunity to be genuine and you miss the opportunity for genuine people. Alright, guys, welcome back to ASMR Soldier. Guys, I know that I've been out of the loop for about 2 weeks. But let me tell you, man, it's been a rough 2 weeks for me up here. It's been really rough. Some personal stuff came up, right? And still working through it. And then I had to go to the field for about 3 days. And then when I came back, I was still having to deal with some of that personal stuff. It was not easy. Not easy at all. And still working through it. And I haven't found or had the energy or the motivation or the want to record, which is, it sucks. But, excuse me, I'm working through it. I'm getting through it. And that's what this video's about. This video's about a safe space, right? Creating a safe space where we can talk, and you guys can be heard. In your comments, please leave a comment on something that you've been going through. It could be something physical, something emotional, something challenging at work. It doesn't necessarily have to be, like anxiety or depression, but it could be anything. Maybe you're just stressed out and you're tired of your job. But it's crazy to believe how one life event can have such an adverse chain of events leading up towards your everyday life. And what I want is for everyone to think about these past couple of months and think of something that has been extremely challenging to them and they've overcome and how they overcame it, and maybe through that process we can identify the steps we took mentally and physically to overcome those challenges, because it doesn't just stop there. You don't overcome one challenge and then hey, everything's all hunky-dory, good to go. Sometimes there's another challenge right around the corner, and this one might be a little one, it might be I'm stuttering, it might be a bigger one, right? So again, I want to talk about resiliency because I believe it is such an important trait that we need to build up, and you can only really build it up by enduring challenges, things that come up in your life, things that are difficult to handle, things that are difficult to talk about. I'm going to be completely transparent. I'm going to a therapist. I'm waiting for the new one to get credentialed because my provider just got here on the peninsula. So they have to go through like a month-long credentialing period. So I haven't been able to speak with them yet. I don't know if it's a male or a female. I don't know yet. But they should be complete by this week. And I am ready to meet them so I can start just letting it go. I've come to the conclusion that I have a lot of emotional trauma from my past relationships, and unfortunately they're starting to bleed over into my current marriage, and that's not a good thing, okay, because my wife and I love each other very much, and some of my traumas are just giving me bad thoughts, bad vibes, but they're all up here. There's nothing going on in the real world, it's all up here. And I need to speak to the therapist to see how I can let that go. How can I deal with it, let it go, forget about it, or deal with it? I think what I've done in the past is I've built it so deep into my psyche, and I've just put wall after wall after wall after wall after wall that I didn't think miss the opportunity for genuine people. And that's what was happening, On top of that, I have potential PTSD. I did speak to the therapist that left, and he said, it's too soon to be able to diagnose you off of one session, but he thinks I show a lot of symptoms and signs of PTSD. So maybe this new therapist can give me a clear yes or no, you don't have PTSD. The likelihood of me having it are pretty, I think they're pretty real. Some of my experiences from the military and some of the behaviors that I display now are very are correlated, I guess you would say, with PTSD diagnosis. So, you guys, okay, we need to be resilient. And how do we become resilient? One, we've already identified it. We have to overcome issues in our lives, right? Difficult issues, financial, emotional, physical, right? Stressors that happen in everyday life, and we have to overcome them, right? Number two is we have to identify negative thought patterns. When we start to think, oh, this is happening to me because it always happens to me. This is always my fault. Everything happens to me. Nothing bad happens to anybody else. It's me, 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 me. That's a very, very negative thought pattern. And if you talk to yourself internally that way, you start to project that outwards and you might not even notice. You might not notice. So that's one. The other one is, you kind of shift the blame to other people. You guys are doing this to me. It's always your fault. Sometimes it is other people's fault. Sometimes it's our fault. We have to be able to identify in each specific situation whose fault it is. Is it your fault? Okay, cool. It's my fault for trusting in you, for believing in you. I gotta trust, but I gotta verify. I trust you that you did what you said you were gonna do, but I have to now go verify it, right? So we have to identify those negative thought patterns. Additionally, with negative thought patterns, if you start talking bad about yourself, right? Like, oh man, I'm such a fat POS, or I'm so ugly, or nobody likes me, everybody hates me, I suck at my job, I suck as a parent, or I suck at this. You're gonna start to believe it, right? You're gonna start to believe it. You need to be your biggest cheerleader, okay? Now, don't become a cocky, arrogant person, right? But you have to be your own cheerleader inside your mind. You have to keep telling yourself, hey, I can do this. Remember that one time I took little Timmy to the jumping park, and we had a blast, and he laughed and he was smiling the whole time, and he said it was a great day. I did that. That's awesome. We did that together. Hey, remember that project at work that I got completed ahead of schedule? I contributed to that. I helped. Remember that code for the program I wrote? Whatever the case may be, you have to talk yourself up, right? You have to hype yourself up, because not always and not everyone has a hype man in their life, right? So with that being said, talk yourself up, hype yourself up. If you're at the gym and you're feeling, not as strong, not as good about yourself because you see some guy benching 3 times your body weight, or you see some girl that you deem to be more attractive than yourself, you have to tell yourself, hey man, remember where you were 3 months ago, and you couldn't even bench the bar, and you couldn't even look down and see your toes. That's progress, right? That's talking yourself up. One thing I learned from a buddy of mine when I was in school was not everyone's 100% is the same, right? My 100% may be up here. Someone else's 100% may be down here. I'm thinking, man, you're not giving it everything. I'm giving it everything, and you're not. Little do I know, right? If I'm not aware enough, that you are giving it 100%, but it's just here. It'll slowly climb up, and we'll slowly climb up together, right? Or I might be down here, and you might be up here. You might be thinking, man, you suck, dude. How can you not do this? And you're over here. I'm over here at 100% saying, hey, I'm giving everything I got. And it's not good enough. You have to be able to discern the difference between your 100% and someone else's 100%, because they might be giving it their all. And vice versa. You might be giving it your all, and someone else might not see it that way. So you have to communicate with that person. Hopefully you have a good relationship enough to express that, right? And then the safe space, right? I think at the end of the day, we all need to find a safe space. And a safe space to me is not finding a group of people that are going to tell you what you want to hear, because that's not healthy. You need to find friends, family, co-workers that are going to tell you what you need to hear, regardless of how painful it is, regardless of how much you don't want to hear it. A safe space is not me telling you what you want to hear and confirming what you want to hear. A safe space to me is holding each other accountable. If I didn't give it 100% and my brother comes over and says, hey man, you're slacking, I know you're slacking because I've seen you work hard before, and today was not it. And today was not it. And vice versa. You need accountability. That's what a safe space is. Someone to tell you, hey, you're doing a good job, but here's how you can improve. Or, I could tell that something's bothering you because you're not operating at 100%. I could see it. I could feel it. And is there anything I can help you with? If there is anything I can help you with, let me know. Right? That's what a safe space is. It's not being told what you want to hear, your confirmation to make you feel better. You need to be held accountable, and so do people around you. And if you need to do that accountability, then do it. But you have to be right first, right? Make sure that your house is in order before you check out on someone else's. Mental health is no joke, guys. It's no joke. Some people think there's no other way out. Some people think that the end. Some people think that the end is better than the journey. And I disagree. I think that the journey is so beautiful because you learn things along the way, you meet people along the way, you experience things along the way. And if we get rid of the journey, then we get rid of what makes us humans, I believe. Human connection, bonding, experiences with one another. So, check yourself, check on your friends, alright? Hold each other accountable. Build, like a tribe. It doesn't have to be big, right? Build like a small tribe of like-minded people that will hold each other accountable, not just tell you what you want to hear, right? Because that's what creating a safe space is all about. So, I know I've been rambling about mental health. I know I've been going on and on and on. And again, I do apologize for not uploading for so long. The Patreon, they're aware of what's going on. Check it out. Some good stuff on there. Some good content. Some fun tiers. liking the channel, for supporting this channel, for supporting me. And remember, I've got your 6. You guys have a good night.